So a black man is taking legal action after claiming that he was harassed and racially discriminated against by a supervisor while working at a California university, leading to him experiencing panic attacks, heightened fear, anxiety, and other health issues, according to court documents. So the San Francisco State University employee, Damari Vaughn, is suing his former supervisor, Karen Rubin. Oh, that's funny. Her name's Karen. And the California State University system, according to the lawsuit that was filed in California Superior Court on Tuesday. The court documents show Vaughn is seeking damages due to the institution's failure to protect him from a hostile work environment. It said Ms. Rubin's repeated race-based harassment of Mr. Vaughn and other non-white SFSU employees would be indefensible anywhere. It said, but especially at the educational institution where diversity, inclusion, and respect should be upheld. Now, they say that per the lawsuit, Vaughn started working at the SFSU in 2001 and was promoted during his tenure. In 2016, he became an academic advisor in the school's Advising Resource Center. It said 3 years later, Rubin, identified as a white woman, became the center's director in August 2019. The same month, one of Vaughn's employees informed him that Rubin referred to him as a runaway slave due to being absent from work, according to the claims. So Vaughn reported Rubin's remarks to a professor at the school who alleged that Rubin had a portrait of Confederate General Robert E. Lee displayed in her office. It say in the lawsuit, it say the months afterwards, say Vaughn continued to address Rubin's actions. It say and racist comments directed at her employees. It say the suit says, it said, but she brushed it off. It said the lawsuit also alleges that Rubin began telling Vaughn to check in with her upon arrival to work. His colleagues wasn't given that requirement. Say Vaughn repeatedly tried to report his and his colleagues' experiences in the runaway slave comment and say, but no action was taken at all. No action was taken. It said the lawsuit says that Rubin is also accused of touting Confederacy images as leadership and declined a request to acknowledge the murder of George Floyd. It said killed by the Minneapolis police officer during the arrest. It say at the center, it's a newsletter. They say instead the lawsuit stated she preferred that the newsletter focused on puppies and other happy things, yet she was able to make space for a fun fact and iced tea preferences in retaliation in relation to the Mason-Dixon line. It said the claim shows the work environment Vaughn caused to have panic attacks. He eventually took a medical leave, it said at the beginning of 2020. It said, but due to a delay with one of his doctor's notes requested an additional 2 weeks off, he unintentionally missed some days and Rubin threatened to terminate him. This led him to take an extended medical leave, fearing losing his position amid an investigation into the dilemma. When he returned to work remotely in February 2021, Vaughn said that the harassment from Rubin immediately continued. It said Vaughn eventually reported his experience to the school equity programs and compliance office. The school began an investigation. It said the probe was started in July 2021 and ended in May 2022, concluded that Rubin harassed Mr. Vaughn based on his race. However, she was still able to hold her position until she resigned months later. Yeah, that sounds about right. We're not going to do you anything. Just quit. That way you can keep all your benefits. We'll even give you a recommendation, but we kind of had to do this because he's complaining. That sort of thing, right? And so in the statement, they said SFSU called the allegations unacceptable and emphasized that they said the commitment to fostering a safe and inclusive workplace. They say these allegations were immediately and fully investigated by the outside investigator pursuant to CSU's non-discrimination policy. The administrator resigned from her position shortly before the investigation was finalized and before any personnel action can be taken. It said the university also took immediate steps to remediate the workplace environment. While the investigation was going on, had the administrator not resigned, the university would have terminated her. Somebody told her, hey, go ahead and quit because they're going to fire you so you can keep all your stuff, right? Because they could have fired her quickly. They could have done that. But why it take that long to do an investigation? Why? It don't take that long. Over a freaking year? Really? No, that brother didn't get no kind of justice with that at all. But you can't really expect justice from an oppressor. You actually have to make them do it. That's the sort of thing. And like I said before, as I get older, even just making them do it is getting old, just for me. That's why I work hard. I got my plans because, it's annoying. It's so annoying. These people are so obsessed with black people. I tell black people every day, and a lot of times you have a hard time accepting this, that these people hate us. Not because I say it, but because of what they do to us, what they have done to us in the past, what they have do to us today. You know, they can't say, oh, that's the 1960s. That was such a long time ago. No, you're still doing things in 2023. It's not the 1960s. You can't help yourself. You can't, because you was raised with anti-black racism. And yes, we have to fight it. We have to take a stand, etc. But sometimes it gets old and it gets tiring. And even other people throughout the world are sick of y'all. That's why they forming alliances and having groups like BRICS and trying to come with their own currency and everything else. They sick of y'all. I know I'm sick of you, for sure. But let me know what y'all think, about this situation with our brother here dealing with these issues with harassment. But I'll tell you what, some of the worst supervisors you could have on any job is a Karen.